Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Es Elena y sí, estoy aquí para the last webinar that I will give you guys. Solo tenemos como algunos viewers, entonces vamos a esperar un ratito para más gente para llegar. Bueno, entonces vamos a empezar a las 9:05, creo. Bueno, entonces voy a poner como mute y empezamos en 5 minutos. Bueno, y bueno, amigos, tenemos más viewers, pero todavía vamos a esperar un poquito más para más gente. Entonces, escriban a sus equipos, amigos, VPs, TLs, miembros, para como remind them que tenemos el webinar hoy. Y vamos a empezar en 3 minutos más o menos. Bueno. Bueno, amigos, entonces es a las 9:05, entonces vamos a empezar. Solo tenemos 11 personas aquí, entonces como por favor, como recuerdan a como tus miembros, amigos para venir. Pero si también estás como mirando este video después de como el lifetime, todavía está bien. Ok. Bueno, entonces voy a poner mi cámara. Entonces, hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Soy Elena, tu MCVP oGE oGT, por la gente que no me conocen. Sí, voy a hacer este como webinar en Spanglish, entonces si no me entiendes en como cualquier minuto, solo como escriba como en Facebook, en el grupo de Facebook de los piratas, y puedo como responder un poquito mejor. Bueno, ese es como para mí un webinar súper especial porque es mi último webinar con ustedes. Entonces es un poco triste, pero también es súper chido porque me encanta para como estar aquí como virtualmente con ustedes. Y todavía tenemos como un mes más para trabajar súper fuerte juntos. Bueno, entonces solo vamos a tener como una hora por este webinar y también y como con cualquier duda que tienes como durante el tiempo, siempre avísame. Bueno, entonces vamos a empezar. Voy a compartir mi pantalla. You can see the million screens. También si hay mucha gente, si hay como mucho ruido o algo, como recuerden que como estoy en el MC House, entonces hay mucha gente que vive aquí, es como el nuevo MC también con mi MC, entonces es como un chingo de gente ahora y vivimos súper cerca al aeropuerto, entonces hay aviones, hay como gritas, it's a lot. So just ignore that. I'm sorry in advance if that happens. Pero bienvenidos a nuestro chat de julio. Vamos a ver como algunas cosas en este webinar. Y también si tienes preguntas durante el tiempo, puedes escribir aquí en como el grupo de piratas en Facebook. Bueno, entonces, como siempre, remember that como en este webinar es súper importante para take notes and to ask relevant questions, right? Like, you know, if you don't have any questions after the webinar, cool, but I'd rather you have questions that I know that you're thinking well and you're thinking hard about all the things that we're talking about, okay? Antes que empezamos, vamos a jugar un poquito, como siempre. Entonces, como la misma manera que como los tiempos pasados. Eso es como un poco, no es como Isaac Trivia o algo, es como algo un poco más divertido porque es mi último webinar con ustedes. Entonces, es como, what is my name, amigos? My full name, como mi nombre completo. No sé si, creo que hay como algunas personas que saben, pero si no, está bien. Entonces sí, voy a dar como 2 minutos para ver si ustedes saben qué es mi nombre. Puedes enviarme un mensaje. Voy a escribir en Facebook o en WhatsApp o como o whatever. So, vamos, 2 minutos. Maybe set a timer. Ya tengo de Sebas en USA. Yes, okay. Correct, Sebas. So we have one. Correcto. No sé si hay alguien más. Ok, algunos segundos. Yes. Pare from Guanajuato. See, that's correct as well. Or something. LOL. Yes, you have it right. Don't worry. Bueno. Okay. So we have a few people that do know it. Yes, it's kind of funny. Mucha gente como cuando llegué a México, muchísima gente me dijeron que, ay, eres gringa, sí eres de Estados Unidos, pero no como pareces como eres una gringa, porque como tengo, like, I have really dark hair, my skin's not like super white, like you would think, and mi nombre es Elena, ¿sí? Alaimo is como my last name. And so they're like, ay, pero no eres como tan gringa. Until they find out my middle name, which is, I don't know. And if some of you know it, yes, but it's Kelly, right? So, sí, como I might not look like I'm super gringa when you look at me or you hear like my first or my last name, but then people like find out my middle name is Kelly and they're like, ah, wow, yes, you're for sure gringa. Like, not even a question. So, yes, that is my name. Haha, super funny. You can make fun of it si quieren por como el último mes, porque I know that's super funny. Pero bueno, amigos, thank you for playing. I hope you find that kind of funny. Bueno, so Then again, yes, we have our agenda for today. So we just have three things, como siempre. We're going to do a little bit of review of qué pasó en junio. Go over a little bit over this last month, porque sí es el último mes de MC Hub, entonces hay como algunas cosas que tenemos que ver. Y también, como siempre, hay tiempo al final para las preguntas, bueno. Y también porque es como mi último webinar. Tengo como un mensaje un poco como especial para ustedes porque es como mi última vez en video con toda la red de oGE y oGT. Entonces, sí, bueno. Okay, entonces, without further ado, let's go ahead and start. So, to go over June, como siempre, tengo un GIF para explicar como mis sentimientos sobre el mes. Y es eso. No es como vaya, vaya, es como vaya, ok. En serio, amigos, estoy como un poco como impressed from June. This has been como el mejor mes, como in terms of numbers, que he tenido como en todo mi term de AMC, entonces está super, super cool. Y yo podría ver como another push and a lot of like hard work from you guys. Porque recuerdo que in mayo no era así, sí. I was like, I think you guys, we can all work a little bit harder. We have things to work on and things to improve, but, you know, I think we can all do better. And I really saw a lot of people actually changing their behaviors and doing, you know, stuff and really not letting things go until and really pushing until the last minute of the month. So yeah, I'm super, super, super happy actually. So let's get a little bit into see what went really well, what didn't go well, and what we can learn in terms of pushing for the next month. Okay? So para empezar, of course, we're going to look at the scoreboard, aka the orden of mames. So to look a little bit of qué pedo con GT, so eso solo es talento global, ¿sí? So the long-term professional internships que tenemos. You can see that in terms of attraction, we did like really, really well. We really overachieved our applications goal. So like, wow, we have a lot of pipeline to continue for this next month and for August in terms of approvals. Y también para opens, we had a lot of leads this month, guys, like almost 600 leads, which was our goal. So that's like really cool. And especially we haven't been achieving our lead generation goals so much these past few months. So it's cool that like, you know, for the next few months, kind of like when this is usually sometimes a slower time for OGX, we actually have a lot of momentum that we cannot make it as slow of a time, and we have a really big jump start for this next peak already. So it's cool to see. The thing that makes me a little sad is that we didn't quite achieve our approval goal and we decreased a little bit, but the reasons for decreasing I think are understandable because a lot of the numbers last year came from pre-matches. So I'm not super worried about that, but there could be a little bit more, but you know, 38 is a really, really good number. It's the most we've done all year for GT, for your LC term, so that's really cool. But what makes me super, super sad is we only had 9 realizations, amigos. 9 realizaciones. Es como, ay, no manches, estoy llorando, sí, porque yo sé que tenemos más, porque hemos tenido muchísimos más approvals en los meses pasados, y yo sé que ellos van a convert into realizations, pero no están como marcando como realize. Entonces estoy como, okay, bueno, we have all these approvals, all these like experiences waiting to happen, but what is happening, why they're not actually going on exchange? I think they are, and they're not being marked, or maybe they're waiting a long time, or I'm not sure, but you can see here que algo está pasando super mal. Bueno, in terms of the whole customer flow, in terms of conversion, we went down a little bit, so not as many people of the opens that we have are actually converting into applicants, but we are keeping applicants for a while, so it is kind of like a good and a bad thing. If you look at the timeline it takes from terms of applicants to accepted, we actually increased our conversion rate from like 3% to 8% this month. So, súper bien, amigos. Estoy súper emocionado. Yo sé que como podemos mejorar muchísimo más porque 8% está, todavía es como súper, súper bajo. Pero it's a big improvement from where we were. So it's super, super exciting. In terms of accepted to approve, we also increased that conversion a lot. So that's really, really cool to see. So congratulations for that. And then the one for approvals to realizations is so far of the ones stayed the same, but I think that it's going to start going down if we don't see these realizations start happening soon. Then in terms of processing time, right, so this is the conversion rate is how many people like overall percentage wise move from one stage to another, and processing time, which is the days, is how much time it takes from somebody to move from one phase to the other. So you can see that we actually decreased. So woo, super, super bueno. Decreasing is good for processing time because now our people are starting to go through this a little bit faster. So before it was like 12, it was like 20 something days aquí from between applicant and accepted, and now it was only 11 days this month, so that's awesome. And this was like 25 days, and now it's only 17 days. So like, wow, super bien, estoy super emocionada. So this overall was not good for realizations, but a good baby steps in terms of improving GT. So I'm super happy and proud of you guys for what we did this past month for that. Now going on to GE, it's a little bit of a different story. So we did also pretty well in terms of our attraction. We have more of our lead generation goal than we've ever had. We have some good pipeline already for this next peak. And we almost met our applicant goal, so that's really, really, really cool to see. So good job for that. However, we did not do so great in approvals. We still grew, which is good news, but we didn't even achieve half of the goal. And I know there's a lot more EPs out there that still want to be approved, and they still have some opportunities available, especially if you guys have universities that you're working with that still have, like, their peaks are, their summer starting in July or in August or something. That's still like totally available, and there's still an opportunity to capitalize on there. And here, of course, I really thought we would have more than 36 approvals this month because we've had over 40 approvals in just GT, like in just GE for the past like 3 months total, and they haven't been converting into realizations. So I think part of this is they're not put online, these kind of things, but it's also really decreasing. You can see we actually did less realizations in this month than we did in the month of June of 2016. So it's like, ¿qué está pasando? Pero puedes ver que también como our conversion rates aquí, like we've actually increased our conversion rate from open to applicant. So more opens are converting into applying now, which is really good news. So we're finally getting the hang more of attraction and conversion, which is super, super awesome. You can see in terms of applicants who accepted, it actually went down. So now not as many applicants, even though we're converting more here, going from applicant to approved is going down. Partly, I think, because the peak, but also because of a little bit of that momentum and that cadence of keeping this process going. You can also see that there was a lot of acceptance we had this month, but not really a lot of them. Only 58% of them were approved, which is like super, super low compared to what it was these past months. So it also means that we're not moving as fast through the process. And of course, if you look at processing time, we actually sped up. So in terms of applicants who accepted, the people who are getting accepted are getting it faster. So that's really, really cool. We're doing really well in this part. But when it comes to accepted to approved, we actually increased. We were at like 9 or 8 days last month, and now we're at 11 days. So not only are we not converting people into actual approvals or realizations, but we're also taking longer to convert the people that we actually do have. So that is something that we can totally still focus on working on these next months. So that's a little bit of what happened in June for the 2 products. To give you a little brief snapshot of what happened overall, we had 61 total approvals this month. So like, wow, that is pretty cool. That is the most we've ever had this whole LC term, this whole MC term. So I'm super proud of you guys for passing over 60 approvals together in 1 month. That's amazing. And we had 45 realizations. You can see overall there's a little bit of a decrease. So the most approvals that was ever done in 1 month in oGE OGT was 66, and that was exactly a year ago. So we almost beat that, but not as much. But I think, we have momentum to maybe do it in the next few months. We did okay with our goal achievement and approvals, not the best, only 61%. We could do more, but we'll see. In realizations, we were super, super, super bad in goal achievement, and we actually decreased a lot. By 20 approvals, we decreased, so by 31%, which means this is like realizations now is the really big red flag that we have. So go into recognizing some LCs in the Americas. This is for oGE, as you can see here, everybody in our region, so all the countries from Canada all the way down to Chile and Argentina. Puedes ver que in approvals para oGE, we did not have anybody recognized. This is the first month since before February that we haven't had a single LC in Mexico recognized for approval. So that was like super, super triste. But you can see that we had 4 LCs recognized in terms of the top in the region for realizations in oGE this month. So super shout out to USA for being tied for top 1 in the whole region this month in oGE realizations. So congrats, Sebas, and your team. We had Puebla is right behind them in top 2. that also tied with Guadalajara and SEM. So the 3 of you also are tied for like top 2, and you're doing just as much realizations this month as a lot of LCs in Brazil, which is really cool. So congratulations to you guys for getting that momentum rolling. And of course, now we have OGT. So we don't have anybody recognized in realizations for OGT. Like we didn't have anyone the last few months at all for OGT. But you can see here we have a really super big special shout out to Leon because of their awesome government project that they've done. It's the 3rd year they're doing this project, and it's been a really big GCP for the whole network. You can see they established that partnership this year, and they were able to finally get the approvals online. So they had 17 approvals last week. So congratulations, super congratulations to Fisha and Zaida and all of your team for making that happen, being top 1 in the Americas this whole freaking month. So wow, I'm super proud of all of you guys. That goes for that. Let's look a little bit again about what is happening with our ambition. So we're going to start, as always, for growing the most. You can see we're still growing more than any commission and approvals overall, which is really cool to see. We've broken 200 approvals, so yay, congratulations, guys. But you can see that we're not growing as fast. In the last months, we were growing around between 50 and 80%, but now we're only growing 30%. And we're only growing 7% faster than IGV is. So they're catching up to us, and we're slowing down a lot. So we're still in first, but there's also a little bit of caution there, right? And you can see now that we've actually really, because of this really bad month we had for realizations, we really slowed down, and we're only growing now by 7% in realizations, which is like super bajísimo, right? And IGV is still growing a lot more than us by 42%. So it's like, wow, no mames. ¿Qué está pasando? So again, guys, these realizations are something that we really need to get on the ball. In terms of being top 3, guys, again, some more bad news this month. We're still number 6 for OGT, so nothing really has changed there. We're a little bit closer than we were to Canada, so we can move up to top 5. You know, with only 10 approvals more, but we're 47 approvals away from being in the top 3, which is like a lot. But again, not bad. We're still in the top 10. We're still keeping our place as number 6. So again, there's always room for improvement, but we're not doing horrible. In OGE, we were number 2, remember, and then we dropped to number 4, and now we're number 5. So you guys, as you can see, like the last weeks, it was always India that was above us, and then Brazil was super close. Then Tunisia came up and beat us, and now Colombia. You can see that because I'm sure if you guys have been talking to your VPs IGE or IGT, that Senna is come back. And so Senna has been starting to be put online already these last weeks, and there's going to be more put online these next few weeks, which means that Colombia for sure has passed us, and they will pass us a lot. So to be top 3, we have to focus on beating Brazil. For sure. And you can see that they're at 158 approvals, and we're at 126 for GE. So that we're like 33 away from them. So guys, it's not impossible. I know we can do it. There's still pipeline. There's still market. There's still opportunities to make that work. If we want to fight to be top 3 in this product before the semester ends. So that is for top 3. In terms of looking into our United and our Y, things have changed actually a little bit. You can see in the graphs. So this is our contribution per tier by the OT model and per region by approvals and OGE. So you can see that actually like our tier 2, which is Leon, has been contributing a little bit more. And tier 4 has been decreasing a little bit in terms of what they're giving, and tier 5 and tier 3 have been actually increasing a little bit. Here you can see that the North shrunk again. They're only giving 5% of the GE approvals. Central shrunk a little bit more, and Bajío has been growing a little bit, and Sur also grew a little bit in terms of for that. So congratulations to those regions. In terms of looking at OGT approvals now, you can see the same kind of thing is happening. Tier 2 got a lot bigger. This is because of Leon being in tier 2 and putting their thing online. So now we have one LC that's doing 18% of our OGT results, which is like, wow. And you can see that all the other tiers are pretty almost evenly distributed, with tier 4 doing a little bit more than everybody else, which is normal because they have a few more LCs. So the distribution is pretty good here for GT. And in terms of by region, you can see that Bajío grew and the North shrunk a little bit, and so did the South. So with Leon being really awesome last month, that really shifted how the regions are looking a lot. Overall, in terms of approvals, you can see that we're pretty much the same in terms of like last month a little bit with tiers. Tier 4 still giving the bulk, tier 5 and tier 3 kind of almost even with, well, Leon also in tier 2 doing a lot more because of the their government project. You can see in regions that the North is doing a little bit less than they were last month. So we're still contributing about a quarter. The Centro shrunk a little bit, and of course Bajillo grew a little bit. So you can see that things kind of changed, but not super dramatically. So that is what's going on. We're still not giving a super equal contribution, but we're getting a little bit more equal as the year goes on, which is good news. So now going in a little bit about like how every LC did, and kind of going into some LC shoutouts and recognitions for the month. So we're going to start and go down the customer flow with opens, and then we will go into applicants and then to approvals and then to realizations. So you guys can see. So in terms of opens, we can see that we've generated like 2,426 GT opens this semester so far, which is pretty cool, and 1,412 oGE opens. Of these, 24% of our OGT leads are not contacted, and only 18% of our OGE leads are not contacted. So this is the least amount of percentage we've ever had in OGE, which is cool. And we're growing, actually. We're getting higher and higher and higher by GT. So remember, guys, that I know that you're focused on either GE or GT, which is okay, but you still have to be able to be at least contacting your leads and marking them as contacted. And then, of course, how you nurture them depends on what you're focusing on, right? So shout out to these LCs, Celaya, Chihuahua, Guanajuato, Itam, Merida, and Uranam, for having everybody contacted with a lot of leads you can see here. So I'm super proud of you guys. And a lot of you were not in the green these last 2 weeks, so you've been really working hard to make sure you get in the green. So super congratulations. We have 7 LCs who were almost there. We have Ciudad Victoria, like an expansion, so super shout out to you guys. Irapuato también, another expansion. It is on Santa Fe, León, Puebla, Guadalupe. You guys have just only a few more people to contact, and you will be in perfect green. So just keep it up, and I know you guys will be there. And then we have people who have a little bit more work to do. Not a ton more work. It's not impossible. You're not doing a bad job, but you could be doing better. So Guadalajara, Hermosillo, Santa Luca, Querétaro, Sinaloa, Tabasco, and Veracruz. You guys know what to do. More leads to contact, more cadence, boom, 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 discipline. Just because we're in summer does not mean that we can stop contacting our leads. These LCs where it starts to get a little concerning. So you have Ciudad Juárez, IPN, Tizamsem, Laguna, Tampico, Udam, Zacatecas, because you have, you know, like lots of leads still that are not being contacted. So time to probably sit down as a team and really get back on track in terms of making sure that you're contacting all these leads that you have. And then, of course, these LCs who were like super bajo in terms of contacting their leads in both areas. Aguascalientes, amigos, still, you're at 55 leads for OGE and still 55 not contacted. 130 OGT leads and 129 not contacted. No mames, amigos. Cuernavaca, come on, guys. You guys are only have 18 leads, 18 people to contact. I know you can do it. Monterrey, come on. Oaxaca, UMX, virtual expansions. Come on, guys. Like, we know we really need to get back on this and move, because this is a lot of customers that we have that can be converted into having these life-changing experiences. So that is it for opens. Like I said, you guys know what to do already. Now in terms of yay time for applicants, so this is people who generated the most applicants for each product so far in the month of June. So OGE, shout out to Puebla with 10, UNAM with 8, virtual expansions with 6, and Celaya with 5. OGT León with 33, it's Monterrey with 30, Puebla with 24, virtual expansions with 24 as well, UNAM 22, IPN 20, and Querétaro 18. So wow, super congrats to you guys. Now we're going to look at a little bit of how going from applicants into more of the consideration part of the customer flow, which is approvals. So you can see in terms of OGE, we had UNAM and Puebla who were tied for the top number of approvals this month. So super congratulations, guys. That's really cool. And you can see all the LCs in this row who got approval. So another really big shout out to Santa Luca. You guys have been struggling a little bit this semester, I know. But you guys have really turned it around and gotten 2 approvals this month, which is a really good start to have. So super congratulations. That means Sinaloa, I know it's been a hard start, but you guys are starting to get some momentum momentum. And Irapuato for having your first oGE approval. Super, super congratulations, guys. I'm very, very, very proud of you as an extension. So yay to these LCs in terms of our ranking for approvals. In terms of realizations, we had a lot of LCs with realizations this month, so that's super awesome news. But of course, there's still more to be done. So shout out to USA again, Sam, Guadalajara, and Puebla for being not only in the top of ISEC in Mexico, but also being in the top of the Americas. Also, special note to Ipene, Leon, and Oaxaca, who all had 3 realizations this month. So yay. Now moving on to OGT. Of course, no surprise, Leon was top 1 with 17 approvals from their government project. Puebla was in second with 3 approvals, and UNAM was in second with 2 approvals. So yay time to Puebla and UNAM, because you can see they're in the top for both oGE and for OGT. So super, super shout out to you guys. También to IPN, también it's the Monterrey and Veracruz for each getting 2 approvals this month. And of course, all the other LCs you see here. Irapuato again with their first OGT approval, so that's amazing. Aguascalientes for their first approval in a while. And Toluca, again, you guys had 3 approvals this month, which is awesome. And Santa Fe, who also had been a hard start, but you guys are really back on track. So super, super shout out to you guys. And then in terms of realizations, we only had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 LCs with realizations this month. So like that's sad. But again, congratulations to these LCs that did have realizations, especially to Puebla with 3. So that's what's looking on right now in terms of realizations for the month. In terms of overall and LC ranking so far, you can see that Leon has now taken the place as top 1 for approvals. Oh, these numbers are wrong. I'm not sure what happened. I'm sorry, guys, but you guys know they're wrong. But this is still the order that the LCs are in. You can see that Puebla has taken over ETSM in terms of being top 1 for oGE. And overall now, it was always Puebla and UNAM fighting for top 1, and now Leon has taken over top 1 with 28 approvals total this year so far. And Puebla and UNAM are really close behind with 23, tied. And then ITAM and ETSM are tied behind them at 15. So we actually have a pretty close race, guys, which is cool because that wasn't happening last year. And oGE, OGT. So we have a lot more competition within ourselves, which is really awesome. So you can see that's what's going on so far. And I also want to give a super shout out to these LCs because if you look at all the work they've put in this whole first semester, they have done more in their first semester than their LC did in oGE, OGT in the entire year of 2016, which is incredible. And we have 9 LCs that are doing that, which is like, wow, I'm like super, super proud and super, super shocked and so happy because this is not something that is like normal for people to do in oGE, OGT, and you guys are doing it. And so I want to give you a special shout out to Cuernavaca, Brennan in Cuernavaca, Ivan in Irapuato, Arturo and Sam, Jorge en Mérida, Pepe en Querétaro, Sebas en USA, Maria en UNAM, and Emil in Zacatecas, amigos. I'm super, super, super proud of all of you guys and all of your teams. You guys should give yourselves a very big round of applause. So, yay. Okay, so that's a little bit of what happened in June in terms of overall for ISEC in Mexico. But of course, we're going to look at a little bit of what your LC did, right? So because I want you guys to do a little bit of individual reflection. So if you just go to this GSS that we have, as you can see here, we have a tab just like last time that shows the growth. So you can see that we decreased a little bit overall as an entity in terms of approvals, and you can see how your LC did compared to last year. We had UNAM growing, USA growing, OMX growing. We had Querétaro, Puebla growing by a lot. Laguna, Toluca growing by 3, wow. Irapuato 2, Guanajuato 3, and Guadalajara 2, and Aguascalientes 1. So go ahead and take a look and see where your LC is. And then, of course, not just looking at if you grew or not, but also, of course, looking at if you achieved your goal. So what you can do is you can put in here, go find your LC, put in the amount of approvals you did achieve, and you can see what your percentage-wise to see how you achieved your goal was, okay? So I'll give you guys around 2 minutes to go ahead and look at that and do that. And yep, let me go back to the PPT. So it is bit.ly oGET results. So I'll give you guys 2 minutes. Boom, boom, boom. Take another minute or so, and then we'll go ahead and move on. Okay, we have some more people looking at the GSS, which is awesome. Another few minutes, guys. I mean, seconds. Okay, if you guys need more time to look at the GSS, that's totally fine. You can just go ahead and pause the webinar so that you don't miss anything that comes next. Finish your reflection and then go ahead and you can play it again when you're ready to continue, okay? So again, it really, I know I want you guys to think about, because at the end of the day, like I said in the last webinar, if you, whether or not you grew or achieved your goal, really I think comes down to this, right? So at the end of the day, it's about the decisions that you make every day as a team, as an individual, as an icicle, right? You know, are you really choosing to be great every day? Are you really choosing to do all of the things that makes you a good pirate, that makes you a good member of oGE, oGT, that really pushes you to be doing things to the next level? And if not, that's probably why you're not achieving your goal, because your behaviors are not aligned to what are needed in order to make, you know, the impact you want to make happen. So again, of course, we all know the pirate principles of disruption by now. Always be questioning, always be learning, everything. Always see it as your first day and your last day in ISIC. Ask for forgiveness, not for permission, except for legality. Legality, you always ask for permission, and always welcome failure, right? So these are the 6 pirate principles again. So I want you to do a quick reflection on a scale of 1 to 10, how well did you follow the pirate principles this month? So I'll give you, and why, of course, y por qué. On a scale of 1 to 10, y por qué. So I'll give you guys another 2 minutos, más o menos, para como finish your reflection on this to see how you think you can improve for the next month. Okay, amigos, another few seconds. If you need more time again for this, and to figure out, you know, why and what you want to do for the next month, go ahead and pause the webinar where it is, and you can continue when you're done with your reflection. I don't want you to rush you in terms of this. Take as much time as you need, okay? So go ahead and pause it if you need to, and we'll go ahead and move on. So that is a little bit, again, like I said, it always comes down to the behaviors. You look at the numbers, and the numbers will tell you a story about how your team is working and how you as a person are working, and if you're being the most effective and proactive person you possibly can. So in terms of, again, instead of just going about, okay, what's going to happen in July, like, you know, more approvals, this is a little bit of a different month because it is the last month that we have, like I have with you guys, as MCVP. And I'm really excited about it. And I know that for some people, it's like, oh no, qué triste, Elena, se va, no te vayas, blah, blah, blah. People tell me this like all the time, but really, guys, like, I don't feel sad. Of course, I'm gonna miss you all, like I really will. You guys have been very special to me, and I'll miss being an ISIC a little bit. But you know, I've been in the organization so long, and I've been working my ass off here with you guys for a year, and I feel like I've given you guys all I could possibly give you to you at this point, right? So I don't want this last month to be a sad, oh, Elena, no te vayas, I don't want you to leave. I want it to be one last month of us really working together, working as hard as we can to make the most impact we can to go out with a bang, right? That's what I really, really, really want to see, okay? And that's what I'm determined to do here as an MCVP for the last, like, 20-something days that I have left in ISEC. And to give you a little brief overview of, like, because I talk to you guys a lot about what's going on in your LC term, and I don't really talk to you guys much about what's happening in my current MC term, because to me it's like I'd rather focus on what you guys are going to do in your year and push you to do the best that you can do rather than focusing on my year, right? But just to give you guys a little, you know, like, understanding of where we're currently at, so you can kind of see where I'm coming from, is that oGE right now, we are only 60 realizations away from hitting our goal, which is not that much. And we have a lot of approvals to make that happen. In OGT, we're only 40 realizations away from hitting our goal. And overall, in the whole area, we're only 100 realizations away from achieving, as you can see. Today, actually, we passed 300 realizations in the whole, MC term, which is a really big milestone because we've never done that before in OGE, OGT in Mexico. So we hit 300. And we're actually only 13 approvals away from hitting 400 approvals. So we're about to hit, we had 300 realizations and we're almost at 400 approvals, which is like crazy because that's actually like you can see that's actually a pretty good amount of growth for the area. So that's kind of what's happening, and that's really what I want. Like, I want us to be able to I want us to be able to achieve our goal because I know we have the approvals to make the realizations happen, and I know that we can for sure surpass the 400 approvals. We'll go way, way, way beyond and leave a huge amount of realization pipeline for the next MC, and also for, you know, for you guys to really have a really big boost for your next peak. Okay. So in terms of like how I know that we can all make this kind of happen together, this last month that we have together, there are 3 non-negotiable things that I know that you guys, I think, also know but need to happen before we leave. First one is about, it is again, the ending of an MC term also means it's a deadline for you guys in terms of the OD model, in terms of jump tier. Secondly, we have a new, like a big change that's coming in the beginning of the next MC term, and we have to start adapting that this month, which is that our OGX prices is changing, as some of you guys know. And of course, we have our big moving to complete strategy, which you guys have already heard a little bit about. So we're going to go a little bit into these 3 different things that need to happen for this next month. And of course, after every one, I'm done explaining each one. I'll pause a little bit for questions. If you have any doubts or concerns, we can go over. Okay. Let us continue. So in order to start with the first one, we have to go into a little bit what, like, again, the next, like, what do you mean the next deadline to jump tier? What, I don't understand, Elena. That's so vague, like weird ISEC lingo. I don't understand. I'm a newbie, blah, 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 whatever. It's okay. Basically, all you need to know is that this is really about the future development of your LC. It comes from this thing called the OD model, right? So what does that mean? The OD model is an organizational development model. And basically what it is for basically to give you guys these 4 things here. To help facilitate learning and development within your teams, to help increase the effectiveness of the network, to initiate and engage and manage change that we have, and also to help with us to improve our processes, right? Really to help us be better, basically to be a better version of ourselves, right? It's also to help you guys give a little bit more direction in every LC. Okay, so you know, at what point you need to start doing these kind of strategies, help you understand the obstacles you're going to run into before you start to grow a lot more, and things like that. Right, so it kind of means that, you know, instead of growing from 3 to 3,000 in 1 year, we want you guys to grow to 3 to 3,000 in 5 years, growing in different increments every single year. And when you grow, there's certain, in each different increment, there are certain things you have to focus on in each one to make sure you're being healthy, you're growing healthily and sustainably as an organization, right? Makes sense, right? So the kind of increments we have these things split called tiers to help kind of determine the increments, right? So in OGE, OGT, we have 5 different tiers. You can either, your LC is in one of these tiers depending on how many exchanges your LC did last year. So if you have a doubt, you can ask your VP for sure. And VPs, you guys totally know this already, which tier that you're in. And it's really just literally completely depends on the amount of realizations that you guys had in 2016. So this is what right now how the LCs look like. So you can see this is how the distribution is. Most LCs are in tier 5 and tier 4 for OGE, OGT. We have 3 LCs in tier 3 and 1 LC in tier 2. And so you can see, take a second to see where your LC is at. And basically the whole idea is that in your term, like from an LC year, from the beginning of February until the end of January, an LC is supposed to jump from one tier to another. So all the LCs in tier 5 right here, Aguascalientes hasta Sinaloa, by January 31st, 2018, you guys should have enough realizations to be here and not back there. All of tier 4 should be here. All of tier 3 should be there, and tier 2 should be there. Right? Makes sense? So it's all about you grow from one tier to another. Okay? And so again, the next deadline means that you guys are going to be up for evaluation again based upon your number of realizations, right? So if you look on EXPA between August 1st, 2016 and July 31st, 2017, the number of realizations that your LC has is going to be where your LC is put. So you could possibly already jump tier or fall down a tier depending on how you guys are doing this year. Something else to know is that like this right now, this OD model combines your oGE and ODT realizations, but this is only going to be in this current version. So the next time you're evaluated, you're going to be evaluated by oGE and ODT separately. So you can take advantage of this way to really put your numbers together and make this like a really, really big and awesome jumping tier for you guys, okay? But again, it only counts if your LC's numbers are on EXPA. If they're not on EXPA, they do not count and you guys will not be able to jump tier. And the whole reason for jumping tier in the first place, right, is that depending on it's about how you're growing, right? If you're growing healthily and sustainably or not. And, depending on what tier you're in, you might be able to participate in certain events, certain strategies, certain like benefits and things. So the more dangerous ideas you have, the more likely you're able to try them, the higher you are in a tier, right? So that is kind of a little bit of explanation. If you have any more doubts, for sure, like let me know. And remember, you have until July 31st in order to do that. And of course, the next steps in terms of what this really means, what do I need to do as a member, a TL, a VP, in terms of what does this mean. So first, you need to check how many realizations you actually have between August 1st and July 31st. To see if you even are possible to jump tier. So again, projected depending on how many approvals you have, how many are pipeline to realize, to see how likely you are to actually jump tier. And of course, all the realizations that yours have that might not be online, make sure you put them online so that you're able to jump tier. Right? So this is a really basic thing. So at this point, I'll pause a little bit for questions. So if you have any questions, go ahead and write on the Facebook group. I'll wait a second. Don't be afraid to ask anything en inglés o español, como quieren. Nada? Okay, amigos, I hope that's all clear. Okay, entonces voy a mover a como segunda parte de este, which is, of course, the pricing change. Everyone's like, oh, que clima, no manches, vamos a cambiar el precio. No, amigos, en serio. This is like not really a big deal, and we're actually having a cool opportunity for you guys to see how we can adapt to this in the best possible way. And really, the whole pricing change is about the financial sustainability of ISIC in Mexico and your LCs, and also how you can use this change to do one last push for approvals. So it's pretty simple. So to start off, why are we even changing our prices in the first place, amigos? Well, first of all, if you look at every single country, like ISIC entity in our region, and the whole Americas, from Canada all the way down to Chile and Argentina, less for our oGX products than any other country. Any other country. We charge less. And the last time our prices were changed were in 2013. And if you look at what has happened to the peso and the Mexican economy since 2013, is actually a lot has changed. The peso has like decreased a little bit, but the Mexican economy has been growing a lot. And things that, of course, you can even tell going to the mercado, going to the movies, like things are more expensive than they were 4 years ago. Obviously, because that's just naturally what happens. So just like that, and because the value of things does go up, and so we're not making as much money as we used to off of our prices. And so in terms of the next step of being financially sustainable, in terms of being relevant for Mexico, in terms of like ensuring that we are giving we're giving a product that makes sense in the market, we have to raise our prices, right? We did a lot of analysis, and that's what the conclusion that not just the MC but a lot of LCPs and the subcommittees came to that we need to do. Okay, that's really what's happening. And it's not going to be that much, really. We're just raising everything 1,000 pesos. So again, it's 1,000 pesos. It's not nothing. It's a lot of money for a lot of people, we know. But in terms of making it accessible, it's not making that much of a difference. Okay. So you can see, and this is not going to start until the 1st of August. Okay, so we still have the whole month of July with this current pricing. So how are we going to use this to our advantage? Well, it's pretty simple. Basically, we're going to do this. We're like, everyone asks me all the time, can we do discounts? Can we do discounts? Can we do discounts? Well, basically what we're doing is we're offering Julio as the mes de descuento. So everybody gets a discount. Every single person gets a discount for this month. So it's gonna be like, hey guys, we raised our prices already, but you still can pay this month. But you actually, if you get approval this month, then you get to pay less. So it incentivizes our EPs work harder to get their approval this month instead of like waiting until 3 or 4 months later when it's more expensive, right? So basically, how do I take advantage of this? You have to make sure you contact the people that are still looking for a practice and make sure that they like understand of this. We're also going to do a little bit more of like we can do a different another attraction campaign based on this descuento, right? So this is kind of what the campaign is going to look like. So we have these materials for you, don't worry. But it's like every time you post, it's not just about having the basic Conectados con el Mundo with all these countries and internacionaliza tu vida profesional, these kind of things. You can see that it's actually like all based upon all the discount if you do this between like these days, right? So that's really, it's super simple, right? Everyone gets a discount if you do this between now and July 31st. The EP has to pay and be approved online, okay? Bueno. So in terms of other possible questions you've gotten with this, you can see here if your EP wants to take 2 opportunities. Remember that like already we have discounts for EPs for their second practice. So like make sure that your EP is motivated to pay before August 1st to get more benefit for that, right? Then of course this is also if I'm part of the membership, because also we get a discount for being a VP or a TLR member and going on exchange. This again, the percentages is not like it's the same, right? It's the same things. Like it's nothing really changes for that. So sorry about that. It's not necessarily great for IXP, but it's really great for basically any other customer that we have. Okay. So that's what's happening there. In terms of where you can find all the tools that you need, if you go to the Education Hub, which I will open here, MX Educación, go to oGE, oGT, and you go to Attraction. Puedes encontrar aquí, OGX pricing will change on August 1st. See the information with the strategy, and you can see this with all of the information, all the promo materials for both GE and for GT. Bueno, and it has a booklet as well that kind of explains everything and how to do this and the branding, et cetera, et cetera. Sha-la-la-la-la. Okay? So that is everything for the pricing change. Again, we're using this as the mes de descuento to help take advantage of this as much as we can. So any doubts or questions on this, guys? Ay, bueno, tengo una cuestión de María de UNAM. O sea, este abre se evalúa si sube o no de tier pasado un año de MC Hub. Sí, exacto. Well, not exactly the under the MC Hub. It's going to be from August 1st, 2016 until July 31st. So it's like if MC Hub in August instead of July. And that's what's going to be measured. Okay? And yes, you'll be evaluated in Everest based upon whether you jump tier or not. Bueno, so does anyone have any dudas about the either the OD model or the jumping tier or the OGX pricing change? No? Bueno, okay. Entonces voy a continuar con como the last thing because it's super, super fast. And of course, at the end, if you guys have more questions, then you can just let me know. So moving on to moving to complete. So you guys know already, because we've seen this before, that like we are changing our measure of success as an organization. Right now we measure it in terms of realized, and now we're going to start again on August 1st. It's like the day of change. August 1st is going to be starting to be measured and complete. And there's a lot of things that go into this, right? There's the standards, there's NPS, there's like, you know, all of these kind of things that kind of happen that cause us to adapt to this change. And so we were thinking, what is the best way that, you know, we can really like start, you know, the whole entity, both the MC and the LCs, really being able to move towards this, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all about making how we can get more promoters and giving a better level of satisfaction through delivering the standards, right? And the thing is about this is that it's all like connected with brand advocacy, right? Because you have to show people that you have to make them feel like they are satisfied. You have to make them understand and feel how their experience is actually related to this, and how being complete in your experience and not just realized really does make the difference in terms of what's happening. So working with the digital marketing team, they have created a new campaign for our oGE called Mi Historia. I'm not going to explain all the details of this, but I will show you where you can get all the details of this going forward, okay? Basically, like really what it's about, blah, blah, you can see here. If we want to be a young leadership movement, we need to create better experiences. The only way to have promoters as a nice experience is by ensuring the standard delivery through operations and marketing. Super, super simple. People have to know, like, we actually have to deliver the standards, and people have to know that we're delivering standards, right? In terms of this project, in terms of the things we need to further, focus on for EPs to ensure that we're making this move to complete, is one, awareness and delivery of all the standards. Obviamente es que número uno, porque como that, if you don't deliver the standards, and then they will not be complete, like just numerically, right? También it's about creating a community of EPs and trainees and ISEC together, right? Really having that and helping them feel that sense of belonging to ISEC. Right? So I'm not going to go through and explain all these individually, but again, I will show you where you can do this, okay? So when it comes to this, again, really what you're supposed to be doing for this project in order to make these three things happen is about, one, making sure the GSS that is updated, making sure the oGE standards are implemented, and work with your LC's brand managers to actually ensure that this change and this showcasing is happening, okay? So, okay, Elena, I'm kind of confused. What does this mean? What does this not mean? Basically, all you need to know is part of this is like a content brand advocacy strategy that we have together as an entity that we're working with all of the oGE on to do. A lot of you guys in your LCs have a brand manager to also help you with this, which is really, really awesome. So the first thing you need to do is watch the webinar, because that's going to address all of the doubts that you have, because they can explain this project way, way better than I can, okay? Second, you need to fill out the GSS with all your approvals and all your approved and current realized EPs. There's also a Facebook group for your EPs to join, so that we can, because in that group is they're gonna be helping to share the content, create the sense of community, the sense of belonging, those kind of things. Of course, ensure all your realizations are marked on XBus, so not only Mexico but also the whole world can track the standards. And of course, continue delivering and tracking all the standards that we have. But Elena, where can I find all of these things? Again, all of this is in the resource hub, guys. So if you go to the resource hub, this time, remember that the stuff for the pricing changes and attraction, all of this stuff is in value delivery, right? Because this is all about moving to complete. So if you go to the education hub and you scroll down here, you have the PDF of the whole thing for moving to complete. You have the webinar that Zay gave about this. Maybe you can make it bigger and see everything there. And you have the GSS that has everything, okay? Open the GSS, you can see already who's been starting. So let's see, let's see some else who's been starting. I think that Oaxaca has been good so far. So you can see here that Oaxaca already has, they have like all their people who were already unrealized on there. You can see whether or not you can check whether the Facebook group, you can see what standards are being delivered and when they're not being delivered, what the percentage is, so you can really be able to track more clearly how the completes are going, okay? So that is basically moving to complete in a nutshell. Or is the PPT back here? So guys, that is the three things. Again, it's about the realizations, it's about pricing change for one last push for approvals, and it's about moving to complete through tracking the standards. So do you guys have any questions about anything in the whole webinar before we end? I'll leave like 2 or 3 more minutes for questions, okay? Puedes escribir en español o en inglés, cual quieren, en WhatsApp, en things. Okay, bueno, disculpa. Okay. So I have another question from Maria, a follow-up question about the tier thing. And en Conal también se puede subir en tier. Yes, I'm pretty sure on Conal. See, it depends because I think they're going to be reevaluating the oGE model because there's a lot of updates that need to happen, like the difference between GE and GT for both incoming and outgoing. They want to add finances in. They want to add how we can change the moving into complete in. So I think that the whole oGE model might change a little bit in Conal, but still for sure, depending on what you're like, you will be put in a tier in Conal for sure. And sí, también in Everest, you can change cluster if like enough of your products move up in tier. And yes. Pepe, you look confused. So no sé if you have a specific question, I can help you answer. Pero if you're saying you're confused, I'm not sure what to help you with. So, ¿algunas dudas, algunas preguntas más? Sí, no, es posible. Okay, question from Lilis from Itam. Yes, you guys are responsible for tracking the standards because you guys are the ones that are responsible for the EP's experience. The brand manager is more about aligning and ensuring all the content and the whole community and brand advocacy part of this, right? But still, you guys are the ones that are if you look, you can see that like your contribution to Exchanger is that you have to help update the GSS every week to make sure that the things are implemented and really just guarantee that at least the OGX ones are implemented and helping keep ICX accountable to implementing theirs for your EPs. Okay? Does that make sense? Bueno, ok, ¿más dudas, amigos? Okay, it looks like not. Entonces, bueno, amigos, como para terminar, I mean, don't worry, I am not going anywhere. I am here for 1 more month to give you all of the help, all of the support, all of the anything that you could need, possibly. Like I am really here. I am determined to make this like my greatest month ever in ISEC because I love this area so much. You guys have taught me how to love this area so much and how to love this country so much. And don't be sad because it's my last month. Really, I'm staying in Mexico. I'm going to be working here. So if you come to Mexico City, we can hang out. We can get a beer. We can go get tacos. I don't care. Whatever. We can go to Casa de Toño. So we can hang out really whenever. But you know, one thing I ask is that you know the best people I've gotten to work with in ISEC are always the ones that just are willing to put their mind to things and to work their asses off. We're just you know a little bit of a sprint of a time to really make something bigger than themselves happen. And I ask that you guys work with me in my last like 20 something days in ISEC to work as hard as you have before, harder than you ever have before, to make the most impact that we ever can together. Because like I always say, you never know the impact that this product is going to have. You never know. You might not see it for a year, for 2 years, for 10 years, but you know that the impact is incredible because it really is an experience that completely changes somebody's life. So who knows what impact you can make and when we're going to see the impact, but I know what we can do together and the next month is going to be huge. So come with me, guys. And yes, so that is all I have. Of course, if you have any doubts or questions, all the output of this is online. I'm always available for questions. Well, but if I'm sleeping, I'm not going to answer, you know, but you know. Anything else you guys need. But other than that, I hope you have a great night and I will talk to you guys later. Besitos. Take care. Bye. Thank you guys so much for everything.